Welcome to TESOL Colombia 2 conference here at the Universidad de La Sabana in Chia, Colombia. I'm here today with Jennifer Haan from the University of Dayton in Ohio, United States. And I'm going to be asking a few questions about her research with multiliteracies and academic writing and all these kind of good things and how they can be relevant for Colombian teachers and teachers throughout Latin America and other parts of the world. Perhaps first, you could tell us a little bit about what multiliteracies are. I think a lot of our viewers are probably familiar with literacy as a kind of technical skill, reading and writing in the traditional sense, and might be thinking, well, that's literacy. What other kinds of literacies are there?
So sure. I think if we think about literacy practices as being less fixed and stable, but rather being something that's social, so something that we do in particular situations and particular environments, that leads us to ask different questions about the kinds of literacy skills that we need. So thinking about, for example, what kinds of reading and writing do I need to do in order to look like a doctor or in order to act like an engineer. Those are literacy practices. And we always think about them as being multiple because there are multiple types of literacies that we use in our lives every day.
Thank you. And you particularly work with students from outside the United States or who have a non-English language at home. What kind of challenges do these students have with regards to literacies and academic literacies in higher education in the United States?
So a lot of the students mention that they are not familiar with, it's not that they don't know how to write or they don't know how to read, but they aren't familiar with the kinds of expectations that faculty have of their reading and writing practices in the United States.
Okay, and your research has focused on how to bring some of their practices from outside the classroom back into the classroom, perhaps to help them leverage what they know to get more familiar with what they don't know. Can you tell us a bit about some of the strategies or examples of this in action, so to speak?
Sure. So one of the things that is really helpful for students is making the expectations more explicit. So looking at the kinds of literacy practices students have done in their lives in the past in other types of academic settings and other courses or outside the classroom, and then looking at what they have done in those experiences, with those experiences, and then comparing them to what expectations the faculty have in the classroom, and then making the gap between those two things really explicit so that students know, okay, this is where I am, and these are the experiences that I have, and this is the literacy information, and these are the literacy practices that I bring to the classroom, and these are the different kinds of expectations that I have now in this new social situation and in this new particular setting, and how can I bridge the gap between those? So that's one strategy that's helpful. Another strategy is having students really reflect on their own literacy by way of literacy narratives so that they can think about what kinds of literacy practices they have outside the classroom, what they've done in the past, and how they can bring strategies from those types of literacy practices to the classroom itself. And then another strategy that faculty can do is bring in different kinds of texts and allow students to work with different kinds of texts, multimodal texts, multilingual texts in the classroom, so that they can draw on different languages and also different modes of learning and understanding in this new context.
Well, Jennifer, thank you very much. I hope that's going to be helpful, useful, and interesting, all three, to those of you watching. Thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you very much.